Okay, welcome back to the third video here. And in the last video, we ended up with something like this. By the end of this video, I want to show you how to end up with this. And you can see it just looks a lot better. And it's going to be rounded off, so it doesn't have sharp edges on it that are really not good for the person who's going to be using it, which is you. So let's take a look and let's break this shape down and let's see what I did. And we're going to do that in this video. So let's take a look here at this sample one. And then we'll work with this one and we'll start doing the things to this that's going to make it like the one that's finished, okay? And then in the next video, we'll add the text and we'll be done. We're ready to 3D print this if we did it right. All right, so let's go ahead and let's take a look at what this thing has. What happened to this thing in between the videos? Okay, so you can see here, this is what we ended up with. And these other pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, are what we're going to be adding today. Let's see what those things are. These are actually things that will cut off the sharp edge of the front. That's just a box. That's pretty easy to do. We'll do that first. Then we'll add these, which round off the leftover corners. These are called meta fillets. I'll show you how to use those. And then we'll make those same meta fillets and move them up top here to round off just a little bit of the corner at the top. And of course, when we're done, it'll look like a badge holder, the way we want it to. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, this first part is very, very simple. Remember when we did this, we made this 58 millimeters wide. So I'm going to drag out a box that's a hole already. And I'm just going to click here and I'm going to go 5, 8, whoa, backwards. 58, not 85, and 2. All right, there it is. And I don't care how tall it is, just leave it there. As long as it's tall enough to cut that little bit off. We don't need much. So look, on this one, you can use the align tool if you want to, or you can just drag it over there, right? Now, if you don't have the snap grid turned on, I would leave the snap grid on 1.0 for this entire project. But if not, you could use the align tool as well. So you click, hold down shift, align, or you press L key, which is the thing. Click the one you want to hold still. We're going to align it to the front, middle, and it's already aligned where we need it. Then what this is going to do is going to cut off that sharp front edge. Let's see what it looks like now. Okay, that's a lot better. That's not going to be able to snag on stuff and get your clothing tangled in it or whatever. Okay, good. That's really awesome. Okay, so first of all, the first thing we're going to do is after that, we're going to round off the corners. And so what we're going to do is go up to this menu where it says Basic Shapes and go down to Shape Generators. Once you're in here, we're going to click on Search. See this little thing? It says Search Shapes, this little searching button. Click that. Now, once you're up here, you're going to go to Community. Make sure it's on Community and not Your Creations. It should be already. Relevant, that's fine. You're going to go up here and you're going to click here and you're going to type in META. Meta, and press enter. Whoops. Okay, so let's try that again. So we're going to click here, and then, hey, I found a glitch with this. The searching on here won't work unless you change this from Community to Your Creations, and then change it back to Community. Then it seems to work for the search, I think. Yep. So change that from away from Community, and then back to Community. Click it. And then back to Community, and that seems to fix the error. And then you click type in Meta, and this is the one we want. It's called the Meta Fillet. Yours won't have a star by it. I have a star by it to make sure that I know it's one of my favorites. And I'm going to drag out a Meta Fillet. And that's the thing that's going to cut the corners for us. But we have some work to do first. Let's rotate this thing by clicking this, and I'm going to type in, I'm going to click this, and this will spin it around. And I'm going to drag it until I'm going to keep my mouse on the inside so it sticks to these big ones. If I go out here, it gets really hard to get it right. I'm going to keep it on the inside of the circle and then make sure it's at 90 degrees. There it is. Okay, cool. Now this sticks out by 8 millimeters. So I'm going to click the corner and we're going to type in 8, tab 8, enter. So 8 by 8 is the size that we need. And I think this should be fine at, what is it? 8 millimeters tall should be fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this into a hole, and I'm going to move this click here, hold down Shift and click this one. And I'm going to use the Align tool by pressing L or click the Align button. I need to tell that, like, hey, I want this one to move to this one. So I click the one I want to hold still. That's this. And then we can align it. We're going to align it to the right side, all the way to the front. And then we have to have it at the bottom. If it's not, it should already be at the bottom lined up. But then it's going to be lined up perfectly just like this. Okay? And then I'm going to take that and click that shape, and I'm going to duplicate it up here. Now remember, when you duplicate, you're not going to see it because it's hiding inside of itself. So I'm going to use my arrow key to move that duplicate, the copy, over here. Get a top view. That's pretty good. And then rotate it 90 degrees this way. So there, now it's lined up the way we want it. And I'm going to grab all of this stuff, and let's see what it looks like when I group it together. Might take a second. Hey, that looks great. Really smooths out this shape and makes it look really nice. Okay, cool. Let's ungroup that, and we can get these. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and I'm going to make a duplicate. Now this duplicate, I'm going to move it out a little bit. Keep the old one there, and we got those right there. Now look, we need to change the size of this. For this top part, where we're going to round off these corners, this is only 4 millimeters. So instead of 8 by 8, we're going to change this one to 4. So it's going to be 4, tab 4, enter. Oh wow, really small, but that's all we need, really. So I'm going to click that and get a side view. And we need to knock this thing over so it's rolled onto its side. Now it's hard to do unless you really zoom in here. So you can grab the one you really want, and I'm going to zoom it down because it's so small, you really got to zoom in. There we go, 90 degrees. Now is that the way we want it? Yeah, I think it is. That's going to face the correct direction. So I'm going to grab this, and we're going to hold down Shift and grab this, and then Align tool. Okay, I want this thing to stay still, and I want the little piece to move to it. So I click the big thing, the big piece, and I'm going to make it all the way at the top. So click this one. I want to make it all the way at the back. So I have to click this back one. And then all the way at the right side. So I click this one. And that's where we want it. But before you do anything else, let's save some work and zoom in. We'll click just this thing. Get this out of the way. And I'm going to click the duplicate button. And then we're going to use our arrow keys to slide it over. You can hear me pressing the left arrow. Could be the right arrow depending on how your screen's set up. Okay, I'm going to zoom in, and this is backwards. This is not going to cut correctly. Look. It's like if we cut this right now, look, I mean, this is not right. Okay, we need to rotate this one. This one's cool, but this one needs to be rotated. So let's undo that cut. Let's click the piece, and we're going to grab, you have to really zoom in. There's the arrow we want. Nope, that's not enough. You really need to zoom in bigger. Do you know another trick that's really awesome? Is you can zoom in like this. So you click this piece, and then this second button down here underneath Home, Fit View to Selected Shapes. And it zooms in like a good view for that shape. Okay, now where's that spinner? Here it is. I'm going to rotate that until it's 90 degrees exactly. Don't get it close enough, get it exact. And it's already lined up. Hey, look at that, it worked out good. It lined up with the back. If not, you might have to align it. Okay, you guys, now let's look at this thing. We got all of it, and we're going to group it together, and let's see how we did. Yep, that's what we want. Looks nice and smooth. We get a top view. We can see that that's all rounded off, and the sharp edge on the front is cut off. Hey, this is the hardest part, so if you're done with this, you've just done the hardest part of the whole project. That's why this video took a little bit longer to explain. Hey guys, we'll see you next time. For the next video, we're going to add text to it to make this and personalize it to you personally. Thanks, everyone.